Getting that experience with children tells me a lot about their background, the parental techniques that they've been raised up with, which not only helps me learn and connect things to what I learned in class, but also develop me as a person. My name is Muskan Papper. I'm a fourth-year psychology major here at York University, and I'm taking Atypical Development with Dr. Heather Prime.
In the course, we highlight that there's multiple factors that influence children across their lifetime in many different settings to impact how they're doing in one moment. So we, in our course, teach all the content and we do some problem-based activities, but really when it comes to life is when students bring examples from the classroom. Students really love this placement. They come with so much rich information. So when I say, okay, this week we learned about anxiety, can someone share about how anxiety turned up in the classroom this week? Students are able to bring their examples, they're able to ask questions.
I actually had the pleasure of working with kindergarten, which is actually the age where you start to see those children change in their behavior, as well as them starting to adapt to their environment. It was such a nice experience to work with them, see how their behavior changes amongst one another. So I noticed how a kid was different with me when I was talking to them one-on-one versus how their behavior changes in groups. I noticed the emotional dysregulation was actually much higher when they were with their peers and in situations that they didn't want to be in or they didn't know how to act in, versus if I had a conversation with them one-on-one, they were very calm, they were able to express their emotions, tell me how they were feeling, which just required me actually validating their emotions. So that was really nice to see in practicum there.
The public school students really seem to enjoy the placements. They look forward to their mentors coming, they light up when they arrive, and they really get that dedicated time with an undergraduate student who has their needs in mind. For the community, it's a really lovely partnership for them because they have a new person who's coming, who's curious, eager, and has a really good foundation of knowledge coming into the classroom to help with a specific child and a specific concern. And so the teacher is able to rely on these students who come once a week, consistently for several weeks, to help meet some of the students' learning goals or behavioral goals.
In my 4 years here at York, this is actually the first time I took a placement. The main reason for that was I am actually a student with legal blindness or visual impairment. I didn't know how I would be accommodated or even if I could be accommodated, especially when it comes to working with children, which is something I want to specialize in. Within the first week of the course, I actually spoke with Dr. Prime regarding the placement and accommodations. She connected me to Paula, which was the Experiential Learning Coordinator. I always say Paula made my experience so much better.
For students who have identified, who have self-identified as having accessibility needs, what we like to do is we like to meet with them, make sure that the opportunities that we're bringing forward are aligned with their educational goals, their professional goals, but as well as their accessibility needs. The course directors are very much involved in the entire process. And the other thing too that I think is really important is being able to identify partners that are going to be well aligned with the students' needs.
My very first day of placement was less time of me spending with children, but more time was actually given to me to give me a tour around the school. I was actually given the time to go to my classrooms, observe each and every little nooks and cranny in the corner of the classroom to see where things are, introduce me to all the signs and all the things I'd be seeing every day. Just anything that was touch and sensory based that would help me or that I would be interacting with on a daily basis. I was given the time to get used to them, know my directions around the school. All of those little things that would make a difference and help me get through my day at school, they were covered on my very first day.
The support doesn't end once the student is placed. The support continues throughout. We want to empower them as much as possible whenever they're doing placements with us or whenever they're engaging in EE overall.
For every little detail that I would say I was worried about or had anxiety over was taken away in that moment. I was provided with each and every accommodation that I needed to make sure I had a good experience at Shoreham. Getting that experience with children not only helps me learn and connect things to what I learned in class, but also develop me as a person and how I can improve when I become a parent and what I can do better for my children.